like a bowl.
So look, the first one is this, ladies and gentlemen. There are two types of validation. The first type of validation is passive validation. What's passive validation? Saying yes to hanging out with him, saying yes to sex, saying simply being with him. Because if you don't like the motherfucker, you're not gonna be with him. I mean, it's that simple, right? But it's not, I'm showing him through your actions that you love him, not saying that you love him, right? That is the passive form of validation. And that is the kind of validation that I want you guys to show most of the time, okay? Passive validation is the #1 type of validation that I want you guys to show most of the time, because passive validation still leaves some doubt. They want to hear you say that you love them. You get what I'm trying to say? It's not enough for humans to see that you love them. It's for them, they need to see that you love them, right? So that's the first one, passive validation. And passive validation is a type of validation that, how can I say, is a type of validation that your insecurities will naturally make you doubt what you see. Right? You might think he loves you because of his action, but then naturally you'll say, well, you know, he never said it. You get what I'm trying to say? The second kind of validation is active validation. That comes with words, that comes with compliments, that comes with gifts and etc. Right? This is the kind of validation that you hear, the kind of validation that you see with your own eyes, and that there is nothing. This means nothing but that. It is clear as fucking day. Even my evil grandma who's fucking blind can see it, right? This is the type of validation that you want to balance it in a very direct way. This is a type of validation that you don't want to use too often, but if you never use it, this guy will one day think, you know what, this person is not loving enough. Some people gotta see that you love them, right? So with that being said, let's talk about how to validate him, okay? Because it's important to understand the two types of validation. The first thing is that before you validate a guy, always, like I always say, it should be cold, warm, cold, right? That's how it should be. Before the cold, there has to be warm. After the warm, there has to be cold, right? 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. It should always be like that, okay? So it should be that, let's just say you're gonna give him a gift. And again, I'm repeating some things because, again, some of you guys are hard-headed, all right? I'm just gonna be real. Some of you guys are hard-headed, and no matter how many times I repeat things, you gotta hear a couple times for it to get through some of your hard skulls, because that's the truth, okay? I'm sorry if I sound mean, but that is the truth. Before you validate a guy in a very direct way, I'm talking about only direct way. Before you validate a guy in a very direct way, you gotta schedule in your pullaways. When I mean pull away, I mean your coldness, right? But when you're passively validating him, that means you're with him, that means you see him every day, that means you go out on dates. You wanna be cold sporadically, from time to time. If you go on dates with him 6 times a month, you cancel one of them. You randomly cancel it. You see what I'm saying? It's the passive form of validation requires like random little acts of coldness that doesn't really have a rhythm to it. You get what I'm trying to say? Even in the texting, right? You keep the same pattern that I always talk about. I'm not gonna repeat it because I always talk about it. Now, when it's active validation, you gotta schedule them in and be more pragmatic and straight and more coordinated in a way, right? So if you're gonna give him a gift, whatever the fuck the gift is, it's his birthday, you act a little cold a few days prior. You make him think maybe you're losing interest, right? Why? Because you're gonna give him a spike of validation. Active validation is more chill, it's more level-headed. A spike of validation requires you to act a little disinterested, so that he sort of like says, okay, what's going on? Am I losing her? What the fuck? Is Tyrone training her? Oh my God, what's going on, right? And then you validate the motherfucker, right? You give him a nice little spike in validation. That causes him to say, okay, what the fuck's going on? I gotta do something. I gotta make her interested in me. And that's why it's important before you validate him, right? That means before you give him a gift, right? Before I say I love you, before anything that you think is a high sign of interest, you always want to act disinterested before, right? Now let's just say you slip up, right? Let's say you slip up and you say I love you. Let's say you slip up and you validate him, right? Let's say that he's acting cold and you reacted to him in a very needy way, right? How do you fix that? Remember, when there's warmth, the next thing has to be coldness. There's summer and then there's winter, right? You see what I'm saying? So after you validated him on purpose or by mistake, follow it up with a little coldness. Now, if it was on purpose that you validated him, so you were cold earlier and then you validated him, don't go cold, don't go super cold, just go a little bit cold, right? You acted disinterested right here, you validated him, and now you're here. Like you do just a little bit, you cool it down just a little bit, right? So let's just say that you gave him a gift. Oh my God, that's so cool. You got me a basketball, blah, 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 right? That's an example, right? And then you disappear for like a few days, you say, and you always make the excuse of work or school, right? The thing is that you might say, well, but he knows why you're busy. It doesn't make him wonder. It's not that. It's the fact that you're not there. It's the fact that he should be missing you. It's the fact that he wants to see you, right? That's the kind of validation, like that. It's a little subtle, right? But let's just say you accidentally say, I love you, and you were the first one. Or let's just say he was acting cold, then you validated him by getting needy. What you gotta do is then give him a bigger drop, right? You acted needy, you were like, what the fuck? You canceled the date on me. Why did you do that? He's like, oh, I'm off. Then you go cold. Now you're busy the next week. Now all of a sudden, my personal trainer is giving me extra lessons this week. Sorry, I'm busy. Don't do that, okay? Just say always give an excuse. Say I got work, say I got this or that. But the difference is now, is that since you validated him by mistake by acting needy because he was trying to make you needy by him going cold, or maybe he was really busy and you reacted in a needy way, which validated him a lot. The point is that the more you validate him by mistake through neediness, you gotta go the opposite direction and act a little cold, because then that warms him up, and then you could go back and act normal, right? So it's kind of like he's acting super cocky, you acted super needy, right? You acted super needy, so what you gotta do is tone it down even more so that he comes down to your level to see what the fuck is going on, and once he reaches it, then you could act normal. You get what I'm trying to say? And it may sound a little complicated, but the point is that if you validate him by mistake and you feel like you did it a lot, go extra cold, always a valid excuse, and prolong it like a few days, like 5 days. If you see him every 2 days, then you prolong it for like fucking 7 days, right? And you give him a valid excuse, right? And then you let him break the silence, say, hey baby, you want to hang out? And then you're like, oh yeah, no problem, right? And then you validate him passively from now on. You get what I'm trying to say? The next thing is that validation is okay. Oh, the next thing is something that you have to understand is that you validate the guy when he validates you, okay? So when you actively validate him when he validates you. If he gives you a gift, you give him a gift, right? If he says I love you, you say I love you, right? If he validates you in any way, shape, or form, you reward that with validation. You don't reward it with coldness. He doesn't give you a fucking gift and then you disappear on the motherfucker. No, don't do that, right? If he validates you, give the homo fucking bone. Be nice. Don't make him watch my channel, right? If he gives you a gift, goddamn, do something for the motherfucker, man. He's doing some work. You don't just get something without giving people nothing. You know what I'm saying? You don't just make the workers work without fucking paying them. That's slavery, motherfucker. That's slavery. You know what I'm saying? like a YouTuber once said. Like, it's like, come on, man. You gotta reward when he puts effort.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys ever want to learn how to use your feminine energy to influence people, learn how to use your masculine energy to become more assertive, and also learn how to blend both energies to improve your dating life, your spiritual life, honestly, your relationship life, your family life, your career life, this is the course for you. If I had to make a course for my nieces, I have two nieces, one is 19 and one is 15. 16. Holy shit. Oh my God, he's a bad fucking uncle. He's a bad uncle. Get him. Shut up, Melissa. You should get this course, right? And this is the course that I will make for them. So, for example, watch the curriculum, right? In the first week, we're going to be showing you how to establish a strong masculine foundation without letting it hurt your feminine energy. This masculine foundation is a source of who you are, right? It's your bodyguard. Without this, whatever feminine energy you create will be destroyed by the outside, because your masculine is your shield. So we'll talk about goal setting. We'll talk about how to develop a serious attitude. We're going to be talking about how to use more logic, how to use more goal-oriented behavior. It's more how to be a man. Now the next one is how to embrace the feminine energy, right? This one will teach you about how to minimize excessive masculine traits, developing self-awareness, healing abundant feminine energy, regulating your emotion, mastering voice qualities and facial expressions, surrendering control, and allowing pain to be felt. This is honestly, this will supercharge, like Kaioken, your masculine energy. After that, we have femininity in the workplace, and how to be feminine in the workplace without letting people take advantage of you, and the nuances of how women of power should behave versus women who are subordinates in the workplace, and even the dress code. This is based on psychology, people. It's kind of insane. I'm actually excited about this one. The next week, we talk about navigating the labyrinth of male and female friendship, and this a lot of women find confusing, so we talk about that. And how to identify envious friends, how to identify the good friends, how to keep male friends, and how to keep female friends. Week 5, we talk about how to release the burden of the past and stop and destroy mental projections. This is actually really powerful. And then week 6, we talk about how to increase your observational power so that you can read people better. And we have a bunch of bonuses. The course starts at $99, and you guys can pre-order the course today at $69 before it goes out. If you're watching this, most likely I'm in the meditation retreat, so most likely I will be praying for all of you guys. And just click on the description down below of the video. Right there, you'll see it, and you can pre-order that course. It's gonna be out by the end of next month or the beginning of February of March. One of the two, people, because I have a 10-day retreat to do, and I want to finish the course after the retreat, because I think the ideas are gonna be so much better. All right, man. I'll see you guys later. Pre-order, man. I'm closing the channel.